Discomfort isn't a flaw. It's a feedback. And more often than not, it's pointing to you toward the boldest move that you're meant to make. Hey friends, welcome back to the Be Fabbo Podcast. Today we're going to chat about something most people try to run from, and that's discomfort. So maybe you felt that you're behind, or that you're too afraid, or you're just too overwhelmed to make the next move in your business or your life. But what if it was that discomfort that wasn't holding you back? What if that discomfort and that feeling you get of uncertainty was the very sign that you're growing and you're leaning into something even bigger? In today's episode, I want to break down for you how discomfort isn't a weakness and how shifting your mindset around can unlock the action you've been holding back on. I want to share with you a couple stories, reframe the fear, and give you practical tools to move you forward, even when things feel messy. Because it is in that mess. You hear me talk about the messy middle all the time. That's where growth, that's where our next milestone, that's where our next breakthrough, that's where it's happening, in that messy middle. And we're here to celebrate that. And I want you to continue to celebrate where you are. Love and be where your feet are at. Be proud of where you are right now. Because when you're doing what you love, it should bring you profit, purpose, and joy. And that starts with being brave enough to stay in the stretch. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the indicator. Let's talk a little bit how we've conditioned ourselves to avoid discomfort, viewing it as a red flag rather than a signal of inner expansion. We all know with our clients, we have red flags that come up, and sometimes those red flags like, whoa, stepping away, thank you so much. We're going to move in a different direction before the client can tell us they're moving in a different direction. But those red flags we have to listen to for ourselves as well. And those red flags with clients, I like to believe, as well as with ourselves, aren't always the danger red flag. If you think about it in your career, or if you do anything in your work, your 9 to 5 or your career or your job that deals with any kind of client or public interaction, you know that there might be something that sets off a red flag, but maybe that red flag is an opportunity for you to show them something different, for you to shine the light on something they're struggling with. Not always shut the person away, pass on them, but listen to why they have that red flag. Listen to why that red flag is a voice that you're listening or a sign that you're seeing. And then we have to do that for ourselves too, because that red flag could literally be an inner expansion. There's something there. They're also struggling with something, and maybe they don't know how to ask us as the person they're going to hire. Maybe they've had other people do something to them that has our niche or whatever we do as a career, a red flag to them. So let's talk how discomfort can often show up right before we have that breakthrough. And I know this is nothing new. Many of you have heard me say that here on the podcast, or you've heard others say it, but it's true. We struggle the most when something's about to happen. And yes, my friends, sometimes that something to happen can be sad or a total devastation that's going to rocket and change and totally disrupt our lives. There are tragic breakthroughs. There are tragic things on the other side. But most of the things that we're dealing with are meant to be disruptors. And when we're struggling with something and we just can't seem to get something to work, there's a reason. And it's because we're going to have a breakthrough of some sort. And I want you to know that sometimes if we normalize discomfort as part of the progress, that it's not a reason to quit, but it's a reason to keep moving forward. Reinforce that mindset determines actions, and our perception of discomfort influences our entire journey. You don't need to wait to be fearless, friends. You need to be willing to feel the discomfort and move on it, take action on it, almost meet it face or head on. I'll share with you about a shy graphic designer that I knew, and was always freelancing behind the scenes, always was offering something to others that were out in the limelight. Their name was on things. They were, I guess, what we call an influencer. So we knew their products and we knew their company and their brand. But this graphic designer was the one behind the scenes, was the one that was actually doing some of the designs and just letting it get labeled under that brand. Well, I remember I met her when I was speaking at a local women's business summit. And she had came up to me and she was talking to me about how she was really comfortable being behind the face of this brand. But now that the face of the brand was doing things on social media, was doing things in the community that didn't align with who she was as a designer and her values and her thoughts. And so this once shy graphic designer who has always freelanced behind the scene knew that some change had to happen. So along with me speaking at this event, she was also asked to speak. Somebody else had used her services and said, wow, I think you could really benefit others in the business community, especially here in the women's community, the local women's community. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can't speak. I can't get up there and say anything. I can't do it. I have to say no. I have to say no. And I was like, why do you want to say no? This is your opportunity to share your values, to share how you're aligned with your graphic design and what is behind your graphic design. What is your why behind why you do what you do? Don't just say no because you're nervous, because you're scared, because on the other side, if you say yes, could be a whole new stream of clients. But don't just do it for the business and for the money, but do it for the impact that you can make by sharing your story about being a shy graphic designer who never wanted to be the face of anything. Might just give the courage to others and might even light up a new spark within yourself. But if others can see you and hear you, then they know they can be you and do what you're doing with their own twist on it. So I want you to pause and think about what discomfort would mean to you if you had to stand up there and share. And you know what? She said, I will think about this. I'm going to think about going up there in the afternoon and filling in on the panel. Because that's what it was. It was, you're here. You're already participating. You don't have to give away trade secrets. We just want you to share on a panel why you do what you do and how you do it differently. Perfect opportunity for anyone to share their story. And I encourage each and every one of you listening to share your story. People want to know who you are. People buy because of why you do what you do. And people buy because of who you are. So she decided that, you know what, on the other side of discomfort, I'm going to step in. I go into her visibility. And I said, please step into your visibility. It's not failure, and you're not going to fail because it's your story and you're sharing it. So she did. She accepted the fact that she was going to be on the panel, told them that she was accepting the invitation to be on the panel, and she shared her story. And you know what, friends? I have now been at 3 other local summits for women empowerment here in the Arizona area, and in the local chapters and some local regional memberships. And I've spoken with her several times. And she's even led private meetings and private chats. And she's moving into doing a little bit more of that. That single stretch has allowed her to regularly speak now and lead workshops. And again, it also helped her have another revenue stream. But again, as I encourage her, I encourage you, don't always do something for the monetary value. Do it because you might just be that voice, or you might just be that person talking that whoever is listening needed something you said. It could be the tone of your voice, the way that you say something, a struggle that you just casually mentioned. That person will feel that you're talking directly to them and it will impact their lives. And you may never know this, but the impact that you have by sharing your story and being vulnerable and stretching, taking that single stretch to stand up on that panel and just share answers to the questions. You didn't have to prepare anything. You just had to show up being who you are and knowing what you do. And that single stretch for this shy graphic designer made a difference in her life and others. And she's able now to continue on and do other things. And she's even stepped away from working with that other influencer, one of her big clients, because they no longer aligned with who she was. So she removed herself from working with this individual because it no longer served her, because she felt she could no longer serve somebody else. A single stretch and stepping outside your comfort zone can bring a whole new stream of people to meet, of impact to make, of revenue, but also a deeper sense of purpose. You didn't become confident first. You've always had it. We've lost it along the way. Just like the girl that was speaking, the graphic artist. She didn't become confident at first, but she moved away, stepped back, and found her confidence to step up. And then the confidence started catching up with her. And my friends, that will happen to you as well. When you push yourself and challenge yourself to things that might seem difficult right now, and that discomfort that you're facing. Sit with it for a minute. Just take a pause and sit with it. You'll be able to figure out the course of action you need to take, but that's the key, taking the action. Shifting your mindset. Mindset is about doing action, and action will lead to results. Now let's talk about shifting your mindset from I can't to this is growth. I want you to really think about breaking down or reframing discomfort as a growth signal. It means I care. This means I care. When you're struggling and something isn't sitting well with you, this means you care. This means that you're trying something new. This is not dangerous or scary as I think. It's development. So I want you to change those things to saying, this means I care. This means I'm trying something new. And this is not so dangerous. It's development. It doesn't have to be scary. I want you to write down a moment when you felt uncomfortable, but you followed through with it. And then I want you to write down what came out of it. Many, many times when we write these things down and we take a few minutes to pause, whether you're doing a journal, writing in a journal, doing an audio journal, however it is, you unhinge and you let everything out and you turn a page. I really think if you sit down at the end of the day or the end of a month or once a week and you write down the moments that you felt uncomfortable or unsure, but then follow up with what you did, how you followed through, and then what the results were. And in case you're new here or been a Fabbo long-time listener, first of all, thank you to both of you. And then I want to share with you how reframing discomfort is such a huge part and a core to the Motivated Be Fabbo framework. Because inside the Motivated Be Fabbo framework, discomfort isn't just something we avoid, it's something we explore. Because when you're living in alignment with the Fabbo pillars, focused, authentic, brave, bold, and open, you're choosing to meet discomfort not with resistance, but with intention. Each pillar asks you to stretch and meet discomfort where you are. Focus means saying no to distractions when often it feels uncomfortable. And when you're used to doing all the things, I need you to focus on just one thing. Focus on that discomfort. Focus why you're having that discomfort. Put your attention to solving that issue and meeting that issue where it's at. Authentic means showing up as yourself all the time, your full self, even when you feel vulnerable or scared. And brave means moving forward even when the outcome is uncertain. Bold means taking up space, making decisions that others might not understand, and that's okay if they don't. You make your quiet, bold noise, but you take up space doing it. Then open means staying willing to receive, to pivot, and to grow, especially in the face of discomfort or when something is unfamiliar. We don't frame discomfort as a flaw. We see it as evidence of growth. That's how I built the Motivated Be Fabbo framework, because I wanted people to see intentionally the impact they can make and that they already have the tools within them to do something and that it's deep inside them. Mindset, motivation, momentum all play a role, but the pillars are what is the foundation. Because again, the framework of discomfort is not a flaw. It's evidence that you're growing. It's wisdom that's trying to get you to pay attention. Hello, you are somebody. You are making an impact. Look how far you've come. Keep going. Wisdom is trying to get your attention to remind you that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The struggles you went through, the celebrations, the accolades, the achievements all got you to where you are today, but there's more for you to do. Again, if you choose to elevate or go to the next level or reach your next milestone, this is often distraction saying to you, wisdom, look at your attention. I got your attention. You know what you're doing. Because when you frame discomfort through the lens of the Be Fabbo framework, it becomes a launch pad, not a limitation. It reminds you that stepping into your next level doesn't always feel good, doesn't come without hardship, doesn't come out with blood, sweat, and tears and headaches and worriness, but it's good. And what you're going to do on the other side of that is amazing. You have no idea what is waiting for you on this other side, but you are ready for it. Push past that discomfort. That's the real mindset shift. You don't wait for confidence or clarity to take action. You move through the discomfort, and those qualities will rise up to meet you. Discomfort isn't proof that you're failing, my friends. It's proof that you're stretching and that you're growing and that you're ready to take on what is next, because wisdom is reminding you that you're ready. That self-belief, your future self is saying, come. I'm so proud of you for where you are right now, but come. Your future self is saying, I know you got this. Action steps. Turning discomfort into momentum. This week, I want you to try this. I want you to identify one thing that you've been avoiding because it feels too uncomfortable. I want you to break it down into small steps. Take the step and journal. Again, whether you write or you talk, but talk it out with yourself. Write it out. Take the step. And I want you to do this as you write down in your journal or you talk into your journal. Here's the prompt I want you to start with. What if discomfort I'm feeling? What if this discomfort that I'm feeling is actually my next level inviting me in? Start with that prompt, friends. What if this discomfort I'm feeling is actually my next level inviting me in? Think about those things. I know you can do it this week. Here's my reminder that if you want a little extra support for making bold moves in your business or life, make sure you sign up for the Be Fabbo newsletter. You'll get my midweek mindset boost and fresh resources right in your inbox and coming soon to your earbuds. I know I've been saying that for a while, but life happens. And the wisdom that I have tells me that when I'm supposed to be starting that, I'm going to be able to start the audio version. That's what I know, friends. And that's what I'm here to share with you every other week, is that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're making an impact. Whether you see it or not, trust me, you are. Mindset fuels action, and action creates change. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're exactly who you're supposed to be in this messy action, in this messy middle, and discomfort and all. You've got this, my friends. Stay Fabbo. Till next time.